You know it.
Like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and once you're done, leave a comment saying that I subscribed, and you will be replied to. We'll be doing as many as we can. Professional wrestling can be a lot of things. Exciting, it could be fun, it could be awful, it can be dreadful, it can be Michael Cole. But say what you will about this business, it's built on respect, especially behind the scenes, but sometimes some people just don't want to play those games. I'm D Wicket, and these are the 10 most disrespectful WWE moments of all time. Number 10, Medusa trashes the belt. Who was disrespected? Vince McMahon and his entire women's division. Alundra Blaze, the now WWE Hall of Famer, keep in mind, was the WWF Women's Champion, and she decided to part ways with the company and go to WCW. Apparently, she had some pent-up frustrations, as when she arrived at the rival promotion, she still had WWF's prized possession. And she went over to the commentary table, oh dear, what's happening, and she threw the championship belt of prestigiousness into a garbage can. What a metaphorical middle finger.
That indeed it is.
Trash can.
And that's what I think of the WWF Women's Championship belt. This is where the big boys play, and now this is where the big girls play.
Number 9, Paige insults Reed's death. Who was disrespected? The entire Flair family, who weren't told ahead of time this segment was taking place, who were legitimately brought to tears when they were reminded of the death of their goddamn son, Reed Flair. Seriously, WWE, what is wrong with you? To try and make a lukewarm feud scald, they had Paige say the line, "Your little baby brother didn't have much fight in him." What is wrong with you? What?
I will continue to fight each and every day, just like everyone in my entire family has. Because your little baby brother, he didn't have much fight in him, did he?
Number 8, the pipe bomb. Who was disrespected? Probably the entirety of the WWE staff, at least the higher-ups. Like, I don't know. I'm not sure. I just like talking about the greatest WWE moment of all time. Maybe there's a little bit of bias there, huh? Well, it's the best. Fuck that, because the pipe bomb is great stuff. And considering he essentially trashed the entirety of the company, its habits, mentality, and how it treats specific superstars, I'm going to go ahead and say that, yeah, Vince probably wasn't 100% on board with it and took a little bit of disrespect.
I don't hate you, John. I don't even dislike you. I hate this idea that you're the best, because you're not. I'm the best. There's one thing you're better at than I am, and that's kissing Vince McMahon's ass. You're as good as kissing Vince's ass as Hulk Hogan was. I don't know if you're as good as Dwayne, though. He's a pretty good ass kisser. The reason I'm leaving is you people, because after I'm gone, you're still gonna pour money into this company. I'm just a spoke on the wheel. Better after Vince McMahon's dead, but the fact is, it's gonna get taken over by his idiotic daughter and his doofus son-in-law and the rest of his stupid family.
Number 7, the Montreal Screwjob. It's back, the Montreal Screwjob. Oh, you're great. Who was obviously it was Bret Hart was disrespected, you stupid idiot. The Montreal Screwjob, as you all know already, was the time Bret Hart was WWF champion, didn't want to drop it to Shawn Michaels in Canada, his homeland, but then dropped it to Shawn Michaels thanks to Vince McMahon forcefully ringing a bell. Dickhead.
This match was a long journey in itself. Took 18 months. Bret Hart with a sharpshooter. Yes, he is. Are you kidding me? What happened? What happened? Bret Hart gave up on a sharpshooter. Wow, you talk about controversy.
Number 6, I don't give a shit about your kids. Who was disrespected? Heath Slater and his numerous kids. I've talked extensively about Brock Lesnar and how scary of an individual he is on this channel, but believe it or not, this segment saw a lighter side of Brock Lesnar. He sympathized with Heath Slater. Hey, I got kids. You got kids. I get that. He said, where for the first time ever he was actually showing an emotion that wasn't anger, hatred, or punching. He then invited Slater into the ring before giving the line that started this entry, "I don't give a shit about your kids." Then he stared him down like a lion staring down a gazelle with a broken femur.
I have kids that depend on me.
I can appreciate that. You got responsibilities, man. You got mouths to feed.
Yes.
I got kids too, man. I don't give a shit about your kids.
Brock, you let him walk away. Right there. Live in person.
Number 5, the constant mocking of WCW. Who was disrespected? The Nacho Man, the Huckster, Billionaire Ted, and a company left in despair as Vince McMahon tried all that he could to make a mockery of a company that was outclassing him every step of the competition. Somehow, WWF managed to air multiple different segments where the rip-off Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage went at it, making fun of their older age as much as possible, which I'd like to point out was pretty ironic that they were making fun of how old Hulk Hogan was, since about 6 years after this, they gave him the WWE Championship. They'd also show their Ted Turner not understanding anything about wrestling, and poor old Mean Gene was knocked too. How dare you, WWE? Also, might as well throw this in there since it's a fucking dick kick to the fans. You remember Fake Diesel and Fake Razor Ramon? Oh, yeah, you do. They were shit.
Muchas gracias, man, to bring me back to the WWF. What happened? You didn't get enough of Big Daddy Cool and Razor Ramon and with the real bad is.
Razor and Savio tomorrow night.
Number 4, the invasion angle. Who was disrespected? The fans. Well, I had to have at least one actual spot for the fans who were disrespected by the WWE, and while we're at it, let's not forget to mention the fact that the entirety of the WCW roster that was brought over was disrespected in the shape of being booked to look like toddlers fighting a pack of polar bears.
WCW has played in the ring. The invasion has started on Raw. Wait a minute. Here comes the WWF, the APA, the Hardys with Jericho. We can feel all hell what's going to break loose here tonight. We're outnumbered by ECW and WCW. Oh, in the parking lot. Look at WWF is still outnumbered. I'm chanting for Stone Cold. And there it is. This crowd has come absolutely unglued. The whole game changed. We're all together. We're all together. We're all for the WWF.
Number 3, bark like a dog. Who was disrespected? Trish, the non-domesticated Stratus, who was the unfortunate victim asked by one Vincent Kennedy McMahon to perform the act of getting down on her hands and knees and barking like the Alaskan Husky she very much so wasn't. I mean, Vince McMahon literally had her bark like a dog. This is one of those moments that everyone talks about all the time, and it took place in the crazy, insane Attitude Era WWE, so it almost becomes normal to us that a woman got down on her hands and knees and crawled around in the ring, not even half naked, in just underwear, and barked like a dog because an old billionaire money grabbing dude, old gray-haired fucking bastard, was forcing her essentially to bark like a dog on her hands and knees while stripped, or else she'd be fired.
Bark like a dog.
Number 2, Rosie versus Trump. Who was disrespected? Well, Donald Trump was a little bit, but very, very much Rosie O'Donnell. So WWE have a strange history with public figures, between awful celebrity cameos, strange social media interaction, and stuff like capital punishment help back up that statement, considering all of those were really fucking weird. This is the company who gave us fake Barack Obama interacting with Santino Marella, lest we forget. One of these classic times WWE got involved in something they really shouldn't have was when Rosie O'Donnell got into a war of words with current president of the goddamn United States, Donald Trump. Trump's hair was definitely made a mockery of, but the segment, which was actually a match, well, it was pitched as Rosie O'Donnell versus Donald Trump, obviously, it wasn't either of them, but it was pitched as that. It was a legitimate match between these two, whoever the fucks, and it was essentially a giant fat joke about Rosie O'Donnell.
I can virtually assure you. Earlier, Mr. McMahon described this woman as a left. I think Rosie still has her watch on. Did you know that the Donald, does he have any wrestling experience? Where's Rosie? She's got an upset stomach. Oh, Lord. She's, oh, look, there is a tie-up. Whoa. It's a point, Rosie. Look at Rosie. Oh, she's got to leave her feet. Yes. Oh, no, gosh. Oh, good. And the hook of the leg. And it's over.
And number 1, anytime they abuse death, it happens a lot. It's pretty simple. Need I really explain more? I mean, it's disgraceful how many times WWE has taken the real death of another human being and used it for profit. They did it with the likes of Eddie Guerrero, Brian Pillman, Paul Bearer, even Reed Flair, as mentioned earlier on this list. Just 2 years ago, like under 21 months ago, this happened. That is not a long time, and it is an awful stain in the history books of even bigger stains in WWE's history, but in no doubt in my books, that is the most disrespectful thing the company has ever done in its illustrious stupidity. And those are the 10 most disrespectful WWE moments of all time. Have you been offended personally by this list? Be sure to click all those disrespectful buttons below and check out my channel, DWick. And if you're still offended, realize that being offended doesn't mean anything and get over yourself.